Good morning, students. Today's Tuesday, the 25th of May. We're going to take a peek at some of the graphing from yesterday's Desmos lesson. So go into the 524 graphing linear equations, Desmos. Your assignment today is to walk through these and to match up your answers with this, get them in your notes, and be ready for your assessment on Friday. So yesterday we looked at the graphing piece here. And so remember, to graph a linear equation, we start with the y-intercept, -3. All right, and then we go up to over 5, the change in y over the change in x. We did these yesterday in class, but just make sure you have this down. Here we have a y-intercept of 5, and the slope is -3, which means we go down 3 to the right 1. The change in y is -3, the change in x is 1, and there you go. Why we looked at those is because as we talk about graphing inequalities, remember there's a different idea here. This is all the values that are less than our line, 3/4 x plus 2. We can make it or equals to and see how the line becomes solid. So if it's just less than, it's dotted because it does not include the line. But if it's less than or equal to, it includes that solid line. And remember, everything that's shaded is part of the solution set. And that's less than, right? Lower than the line. If we switch to greater than, we shade above the line. And how do you know if something's a solution? You test those values. All right, so we would test the values here, and you can pick any point you want. Here, if I tested this point right here, 0, 4, I would get 4 is greater than 3/4 times 4. 3/4 of 4 is 3. 3 plus 2 is 5. So is y greater than 3/4 of 4 is 3. 3 plus, let me double check this. Yeah, if we plugged in the point 0, 4, right, 3/4 of 0, if I plugged in 0, would be 0. 0 plus 2 is 0. So 4 is definitely greater than 0. All right? And we'll keep looking at these as we move forward. All right, you're following along in your slides. These are what we did yesterday. All right? And so let's see. This was the one we tested yesterday. You could test points by either seeing if they're in the shaded region or plugging them in. All right, so yesterday we worked on number 1. All right, let's take a peek at number 2. In order to graph y is less than or equal to 3/5 x minus 5, start with the y-intercept at -5. My slope is 3 over 5, so that means a rise of 3, 1, 2, 3, and a run of 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5. All right, it's less than or equal to, so it's going to be a solid line. All right, in order to test where I shade, I'm going to just plug in a couple of points right here. I'm going to try 0, 0. That's above it. So is 0 less than or equal to 3/5 times 0 is 0 minus 5. So is 0 less than or equal to -5? The answer is no. If I test a point over here, let's test 5, -4. Is -4 less than or equal to 3/5 of 5 minus 5? Well, 3/5 of 5 is 3. 3 minus 5 is -2. Is -4 less than or equal to -2? It is. All right, and so we would shade on this side of our inequality. All right, so walk through that again. Make sure you're doing your Desmos work or your Delta Math work because it's going to help you walk through this if you're struggling still. All right, number 4, we have y is greater than or equal to -4. And so a y equals line, if you remember, are horizontal lines that go through those values. And so y equals -4 is a line at -4 that goes left to right. But this isn't an equation, it's an inequality. And so we're going to have a dotted line, a dotted horizontal line right here. So I'm going to try to do that the best I can. You might want to just use the drawing feature or do this right in your notebook, because you can see I'm not very good at making dotted lines on the computer, but it's a dotted line. Now it says y is greater than this, so all the values above -4 are greater than. So we shade this region. We have the dotted line that says that is not part of our solution. The solution could be any point above that horizontal line. Y is greater than -4. Let's keep going and try these two out. y is greater than 2x minus 5. So I start with my y-intercept of negative 5, and my slope is 2. Well, remember, a slope of 2, we can write that as 2 over 1 because that helps my brain say a rise of 2 and a run of 1. So up 2 over 1. Change in y of 2, change in x of 1. Up 2 over 1. All right, and since this is a greater than sign, it is a dotted line, right? There's no equals to, so I'm just going to draw that like that, get a good approximation, put my arrows on both sides to show it goes on forever and ever, and I want all the points that are bigger, right? Y is greater than this, so I'm going to test a point right here, 0, 0. Is 0 greater than 2 times 0 is 0, minus 5 is negative 5. So is 0 greater than 0 minus 5? Sure is. So I'm going to shade that region. Number 6, I'm going to start with plus 2. All right, then my slope is 7 over 4. Oh man, how can I do that, right? I go up 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 2. So I'm kind of estimating, but I can go down 7, left 4 as well, right? Let's see, I did something wrong. What did I do? Oh, it's up 7, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 4. 1, 2, 3, 4. So about there. And then I'm going to go down 7 to the left 4. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7 over 1, 2, 3, 4. And my slope is still up 7 over 4. Up 7 over 4. All right, so I'm going to connect these. There we go. It's a solid line because it's greater than or equal to. All right, I always like to test 0, 0. If I plug 0 in, I get 0. Is that greater than 7? Fourths times 0 is 0. This is why I use 0 plus 2. Is 0 greater than or equal to 2? Nope. So we don't shade on that side. We're going to shade on the other side. All right? And that is graphing our inequalities. All right? We're going to do this again in a couple. And so the idea here is we're going to go through the steps to graph 3x plus 2y is greater than negative 8. So we have to first write it in slope-intercept form, right? So the idea is if we want to be able to graph this, we want to be able to graph it in slope-intercept form. So let me grab my snippet tool just so that we can walk through this a little differently. Or we can walk through how to write it in slope-intercept form. And what we need to do is we need to take 3x plus 2y is greater than 8 and rewrite it into y. So I'm going to subtract 3x from both sides. And I get 2y is greater than 8 minus 3x. So then 2y, I'm going to divide everything by 2. I get y is greater than 8 over 2 minus 3 over 2x. I simplify. 8 divided by 2 is 4. I'm going to leave 3 halves as a fraction. And I'm going to rewrite it as, right up here, y is greater than 3 halves x, negative 3 halves x plus 4. Right? Y is greater than negative 3 halves x plus 4. So go ahead and type that in line 3. Y is greater than negative 3 halves x plus 4. Right? I'm going to bring this graph down. And so it's already got it shaded for us, right? We can see that here's our line at 4, our y-intercept at 4. We're going to go down 3 to the right 2, so down 1, 2, 3, about here, over 2, yep. And then we would create our line. They've done the work for you, but if you did it on solid, would it be a dotted or solid? And your correct answer is it'd be dotted because it's a greater than sign, all right? How do we test a point which side to shade? So if I tested 0, 0, right, that would not be a selection. But if I tested anything in the shaded region, remember, those are the solutions to this inequality. Y is greater than negative 3 halves x plus 4. So here's some practice here, and we have 6 minutes. We're going to go through a couple of these. I want you to pause it and try it out, and then join me. All right. Hopefully you tried this out. Now you're coming back to get the walkthrough. All right. I want to add 3x to both sides to get it in slope-intercept form. I have negative 2y is less than 10 plus 3x. Now, guess what I'm going to do? I'm going to divide by a negative. And remember, when we divide or multiply by a negative, we're flipping it over that 0 point on the number line. And so it changes our sign. So it goes from less than to greater than. 10 divided by negative 2 is negative 5. Plus 3x divided by negative 2 is minus. And I'm going to leave it as the fraction 3/2 x. Rewrite it as negative 3/2 x minus 5, which is in our slope-intercept form that we learned a while back. And I'm going to graph this. Start at our y-intercept of negative 5. We're going to go down 3, 1, 2, 3 over 2. So it's about here. I can go backwards though, right? Up 3, 1, 2, 3, left 2. I'm going to do that one more time. Up 3, 1, 2, 3, left 2. And we have a dotted line that goes through that point. Now, the last thing that helps us make sure we shade on the right side, I'm going to go to 0, 0, and I'm going to plug it into this original one. Is 0 minus 0 less than 10? Is 0 minus 0 less than 10, right, when I plug in 0? Yeah. And so my shaded region is going to be on this right side. That helps give you just a check. We could do it over here too. 0 is greater than 0 minus 5. Yeah, that's true as well. All right, now here's the bottom one. I want you to try this out. Notice you will be dividing by a negative. Go ahead. All right, pause it, try that one out by yourself, see how you do. All right, you're coming back after pausing it. You have negative 3y is less than or equal to negative 15 minus 5x. When you divide by that negative 3, now you know I'm dividing by a negative. I'm going to change the sign. Negative 15 divided by negative 3 is a positive 5, and negative 5x divided by negative 3 is a positive 5 over 3x. Rewrite it in slope-intercept form. Y is greater than or equal to 5/3 x plus 5. Let's graph that. Start at our y-intercept of 5. Our slope is up 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 3. But I can't do that on this graph. Do it on your paper if you can. I'm going to go down 5, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, and back 3, because that's the same idea. Down 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 over 1, 2, 3. Now this says y is greater than or equal to, so I am going to guess it's shaded on this side. It's a greater than or equal to, so I can do a solid line. And let's test our point. My favorite point, you got it, 0, 0. So I go 0 times 5 is 0, 3 times 0 is 0. Is 0 minus 0 less than or equal to negative 15? Yeah. Nope. 0 minus 0 is bigger than 15, so this side is a big no. This side is a yes. And so I shade on the left or upper side of that inequality. Last one here quick. Y is greater than 4, so this is going to be a solid line at y is at 4. It should look like this. I want all the points greater than it. And this one down here, I can solve it pretty quickly by saying y, negative y, well, let's do it over here. Negative y, x minus y is greater than 2. Bring that x over, I get negative y is greater than 2 minus x. But when I multiply everything by a negative, the sign switches to y is less than x minus 2. So that graph would be at negative 2, a slope up 1 over 1, up 1 over 1, a dotted line like this, and we're going to graph below it. All right, walk through those and walk through your Delta Math homework. Tell me how you're understanding this on slide 19, and then finish your Delta Math. I'm going to look at the reflections on slide 19 to see that you completed today's lesson. Have an awesome day.